Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today we have a very special video because today I'm going to tell you the story of how I got to Korea, why I'm in Korea, what I'm doing, how it's like, all that stuff. And I have my trusty dusty notepad to keep me on track here. So today, this video was requested by a follower of mine. They reached out to me and said, hey, what's it like living in Korea? Why are you in Korea? Why are you doing this? And how are you transitioning from being in America during a pandemic and just living there? So, wrote down the questions, and today we are going to answer them. So stay tuned if you want to know why I'm here, why I'm doing it, and how you can do it too. So, life in Korea as an expat. So what it means to be an expat is that you are from another country and you're living in another country, okay? So what I'm doing here, I am a sungsengnim. Sungsengnim means I am a teacher, and I am teaching English to little babies, little kindergarten, elementary school little babies. I got this job through a recruiter. A friend of mine recruited me. I said, hey, I want to teach in South Korea. They said, hey, we have a job for you. Did all the stuff I needed to do. Got that done. Now I'm here. That'll be a whole nother video. Someone asked me what the cost of living here is in South Korea. Cost of living is similar to the US. Food is around the same price. $6 for a meal, $10 for a meal, $4 for a drink. I'm just converting it to USD, but it would be like 4,000 won for a drink, So it's similar to the US. For an apartment, it'll run you like $1,000 or more. In that area, it's not too much different from the US. So that is what I did learn and research. I don't know how much my apartment costs. My apartment's like a little small, little cute, little studio kind of tingy-ting. For me, my cost of living is a little different because I'm not paying for my own housing. My school is paying for my housing, and I'm paying for my utilities like water, electric, all that stuff. My cost of living is only $100 for my bills, and then including transportation might be $100 for that, depending on what you do and how you travel. But overall, my cost of living, I have to include food too. See, I don't know how much I'm going to spend on food because I haven't really gotten to the groove of buying my own food and this, that, and the fourth. I'm currently in quarantine right now for 7 more days. I've had to do a 14-day quarantine, so I'm on day 7, so I have 7 more days. And I've never lived on my own before, so I don't know how much it's gonna cost me for food. I love to eat, and I love to go out to eat, and I love to eat good food. So I'm assuming that I'm gonna spend about $200 on food a month. 200 to 300, I don't know. I'm not sure. We'll do an updated video on that. My cost of living would be like $400 a month. That's my cost of living. How do they treat foreigners in South Korea? My experience with foreigners in South Korea is a little different because I'm a different person, yada, yada, yada. I lived in Korea 2 years ago for 5 months, and I lived on campus at a school called Hallymdaehakyo. So, the kids there treated me like I was anybody else. They did use me for their homework. They had English homework. They was like, hey, Reflekshin, can you help me with this English homework? So, they did use me in that sense. Walking around daily life, I got stared at. It wasn't like intense, but it's definitely like you feel that someone is looking at you. It's not really too crazy. No one said anything to me while I was like by myself doing whatever. They just really like minded their business for the most part. In shops and restaurants, they were really kind and very sweet, very nice to me. I didn't have any problems. If you speak Korean, they'll probably say, oh, your Korean is so good, oh my God. But there are some restaurants that has a sign that says no foreigners allowed, which is xenophobia, which is basically discrimination towards expats or foreigners, but that's what it is. They said no foreigners, so no foreigners were allowed into the restaurant. I didn't go into those places, so I don't have an experience of like going to a place that said no foreigners. I just like walked on by it because it's like 1 to 2. I saw like 3 max, and that's like in the city, like Seoul or someplace like in the city, because on the outskirts you really don't get that many foreigners on the outskirts of the city. So I didn't go in there. I really didn't have no problem with them saying, oh, no foreigners. It just is what it is. But it's not many. Like, it's not many at all. It's like 1 to 2. But there are some. One thing that I did experience, like discrimination towards not just foreigners, but towards Black people. I went to a Pride festival 2 years ago, and there was a sign that said, niggers get out, in Korean. And that, I was like, oh shit, like they know like the word nigger, like, because they didn't have like African American slaves. They didn't have African slaves in South Korea. So that was something that they learned from white Europeans to call African Americans or Black people niggers, which I thought was a little interesting because you don't have niggers in your country. But that was the only like racist thing that I experienced in South Korea. And I was like, what the fuck ever, because they say that in America too, like, so I was like, whatever. So for me, I've been treated well here in South Korea. I've been accepted, but it also depends on where you go, because certain, like, obviously children are more accepting than like an older generation. So like a lot of college campuses, a lot of, you know, young teachers, Gen Z, whatever the age range is, like they're really more open and more accepting towards you, and you'll have a lot of friends. So overall, I think the treatment of foreigners in South Korea is pretty good. I really can't compare it to anything else because I haven't been anywhere else but South Korea, but for me, the treatment of foreigners is pretty good. Pretty good. If it wasn't, I wouldn't be here. I don't wanna go to a place where I feel like I don't belong or I'm not wanted. So, how long have you been studying Korean? I've been studying Korean off and on for about since high school, really. And I've been studying it off and on. I did not, before I came to Korea 2 years ago, I wasn't studying like super hard, but I would watch like K-drama. I would watch K-pop videos and listen to K-pop music. So I've been studying off and on for like 6 years. And so if I was studying like super diligently, I would know more than I do. But I was studying off and on, so that was that. Secondly, a part of my curriculum was to take a language class. So I took Korean 1 and I passed it and I learned a lot. And I still remember some of the stuff, and I still have some of the books that they gave to me. I wish I could have brought my book from home, but I left it at home. And I was looking for it before I left, and I was like, whatever, I'm gonna go to the country, so it'll be okay. That's this video today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you liked it. I hope this information is useful to you as an expat or someone who wants to travel to Korea. If you have any more questions, leave a comment. Like, share, subscribe, do all those things. Share the video with your friends, share it with your mom, like it, just share it, because we are going to become famous and we are going to have our own food TV travel show. And I will say that in every one of my videos so that you get it and that I manifest my reality. So, love you. Bye. Mwah.